What would he be doing now if he had lived? What do you imagine he'd be working on? Just guess.
He also was quite mindful about not staying too long at the helm and making space for others. He did have a fantasy of teaching eventually.
Oh, wow.
And because we live right near Stanford, that notion of riding the bike to Stanford and teaching classes there
Professor
was
Steve Jobs?
Yes, exactly.
What did he want to teach?
Oh, well, I think he could teach almost anything and people would really benefit from it.
Would you please give a warm welcome to our distinguished guest, Steve Jobs.
Hi. I guess we get to spend an hour or so together today. And most of the time I wanted to spend just talking about what you want to talk and answering some questions. How many of you are from Wall Street? Good. Good. How many of you are from manufacturing companies? Oh, excellent. Where are the rest of you from? Oh, how many from consulting? Oh, that's bad. Yeah. A mind is too important to waste. You should do something.
Wait, why is that bad if a consultant can come into a company and use your system and basically build their applications in ridiculously short amounts of time and show them a working product?
The only consultants I've seen that I think are truly useful are the ones that help us sell our computers. But other than that, no, seriously, I don't think there's anything inherently evil in consulting. I think that without owning something over an extended period of time, like a few years, where one has a chance to take responsibility for one's recommendations, where one has to see one's recommendations through all action stages and accumulate scar tissue for the mistakes and pick oneself up off the ground and dust oneself off, one learns a fraction of what one can. You're coming in and making recommendations and not owning the results, not owning the implementation, I think is a fraction of the value and a fraction of the opportunity to learn and get better. And so what you do get a broad cut at companies, but it's very thin. It's like a picture of I'm a vegetarian, so I won't use steak, but it's like a picture of a banana. You might get a very accurate picture, but it's only two-dimensional. And without the experience of actually doing it, you never get three-dimensional. So you might have a lot of pictures on your walls. You can show it off to your friends. You can say, look, I've worked in bananas, I've worked in peaches, I've worked in grapes, but you never really taste it. And I think that's what I think. What are you guys all going to do when you get out of here? Are you going to go back to your companies? Is that? How many are you going to go back? How many aren't going to go back? Huh. What are you going to do? Well, yeah, I think we always have jobs for really smart technical people, technically based people. And you guys are getting a great business education here. Yeah, we'd love to talk to a lot of you. Yeah, yes, sir.
I hope I'm not stepping on any toes here, but
go ahead.
What do you think Apple would be had you not left it? And specifically, could it have come out with something as revolutionary as the Big Machine?
Well, these are deep questions. I tell you, I've obviously thought about this a lot, and I don't want to get into it too much, but I will say that I think everybody lost. I think I lost. I wanted to spend my life there. I think Apple lost. I think customers lost. And having said all that, so what? You go on. You know, it's not as bad as a lot of things. It's not as bad as, you know, losing your arm. Right? So people go on, and companies go on. And I think Apple, I'm very happy every time Apple ships a Mac. Makes me very, very happy. A few more, and yeah.
What's the most important thing that you personally learned at Apple that you're doing it next?
Good question. I'm not sure I learned this when I was at Apple, but I learned it based on the data when I was at Apple. And that is, I now take a longer-term view on people. In other words, when I see something not being done right, my first reaction isn't to go fix it. It's to say, we're building a team here, and we're going to do great stuff for the next decade, not just the next year. And so what do I need to do to help so that the person that's screwing up learns versus how do I fix the problem? And that's painful sometimes. And I still have that first instinct to go fix the problem, but that's taking a longer-term view on people is probably the biggest thing that's changed. And then I don't know, that's, you know, maybe the part that's biological, but yes.
To follow up on that question, I want to ask you about the management style and specifically how do you resolve conflict within your organization?
What's our management style? How do we resolve conflict? I've never believed in the theory that if we're on the same management team and a decision has to be made and I decide in a way that you don't like, and I say, come on, buy into the decision. You know, buy into it. We're all on the same team. You don't agree, but buy into it. Let's go make it happen. Because what happens is sooner or later, you're paying somebody to do what they think is right, but then you're trying to get them to do what they think isn't right. And and sooner or later it outs, and you end up having that conflict. So I've always felt that the best way is to get everybody in a room and talk it through until you agree. Now, that's not everybody in the company, but that's everybody that's really involved in that decision that needs to execute it. And so that's how we try to run Next. The way we run Next is we have a team at the top we call the policy team. There's 8 people. Mike is on it, I'm on it, we have 6 other people on it. And the key, we have 2 things we try to do. One is we try to differentiate between the really important decisions and the ones that we don't have to make. And the really important ones, we work on it till we all agree. Because we're paying people to tell us what to do. In other words, I don't view that we pay people to do things. That's easy, to find people to do things. What's harder is to find people to tell you what should be done, right? That's what we look for. So we pay people a lot of money, and we expect them to tell us what to do. And so when that's your attitude, you shouldn't run off and do things if people don't all feel good about them. And the key to making that work is to realize there's not that many things that any one team really has to decide. And we might have 25 really important things we have to decide on a year. Not a lot. So that's how we try to run it. Sometimes it works, and sometimes we're still working on it. I can't think of once, maybe there's once or twice, but I can't even recall a time when I've said, damn it, I'm the CEO and we're doing it this way. You know? I can recall a time when I've said, we don't see eye to eye, and you're off the team. You know? I've had to say that once or twice over a prolonged period of time when a person has not wanted to go in the same direction we've wanted to go in as a team. It's my job every once in a while to say, hey, you want to go this way? We want to go this way. It's not working. So, but when people are on the team, then we work it out. Hey, we have to head off into the sunset back to California, but thanks for a chance to be with you all for some time.